I just like I lost a parent and I lost half of my family when all this came out, and I still had to be strong and stand by these kids because nobody else was. I'm here with Jade and Laileona, who are my nieces, because their father did some terrible things to them that no child should ever endure. I definitely believe my nieces, and I've always stood by them, but I want to come to the show today to let his family know that they are telling the truth. I have never heard Amaya's story. I couldn't even bear to hear that he had did that to my baby being 6 years old. And I know he's touched her, but I haven't heard the story. So whatever her story is, I'm going to hear today, just like the world. I'm so proud of Jade, Laileona, and Amaya for coming out and telling the truth about this situation.
Basically, I was going to go visit my father in 2012 and 2013. I was 12 and I was 13. I was in both of those years for the summer. You know, I was excited to go and, you know, spend time with him and meet my sister that I had never met, Laileona, and my brother and just my family on that side. And, you know, when I got there, I felt protected. You know, I felt happy because I hadn't had my dad around. Basically, once I got comfortable enough and thought I was safe with my dad, I trusted him enough to tell him what had happened to me back at home with one of my mom's old boyfriends and with him raping me. My dad, he didn't give no father reaction. His initial reaction was just, I was supposed to be the first person. It was a lot of times where I was there with my dad without my sister. And he had laid down and he started trying to find my face because it was dark. So he was literally like trying to find my face. And, you know, in my head, I'm just like, what is he looking for? Like, and then once he found my face, my dad had kissed me. And I had asked him, like, why are you kissing me? Like, I'm your daughter, you know? Like, this is not something that's normal. This is not something that is supposed to be happening. And that was when he was like, I'm supposed to be the one to teach you how to kiss, because he had asked me, had I had a boyfriend before? And, you know, I was 12. He had asked me had I had a boyfriend before, had I had sex on my own before after I had told him what happened to me, and had I ever kissed somebody before. And I had told him, like, no, Dad, like, I'm 12. Like, why would I have a boyfriend? You know, like, why would I be kissing somebody? Why would I be having sex? And he had asked me that because his initial reaction was because he was supposed to be the one to be teaching me all of this stuff and the first person to do all this stuff. I needed to learn how to perform oral sex. And the first time that he tried to make me learn how to perform it, I didn't want to, you know, so he just did what he wanted and made me just do what he wanted me to do, and ended up at 12. He also used to wait until, like, everybody left in the daytime to go to work and stuff. And he would take me down in the basement and make me lean on the basement and have sex with me. And it just kept going on unless I was on my period. And whenever I was on my period, I was happy. I I was happy. You know, I didn't really have a childhood. And when I met my sister and my brother and my cousins and my auntie, one of my favorite aunties ever, I sacrificed going through that to be with them, to have fun. I had to come back. He just was doing that to me the whole summer. And then in July, I missed my period. I ended up telling my dad that my period didn't come on. And he basically was prepping me for what to tell my family when I got back home. He told me to say that I had went to a 4th of July event, met some dude, and decided to have sex with him, and ended up pregnant. That was his story for me to tell family when I got home. But to confirm, you know, I needed to do the test. And I was scared to tell my mom, especially knowing that I didn't choose to have sex on my own. So my dad called and he was like, telling me like, you need to have an abortion. So then ended up offering to tell me that I need to get an abortion and it cost this much, and she had ended up.
And you're 13 at the time.
I was 13, I was in the 7th grade. And then they had told me, well, you know, because they thought I had had sex on my own, well, if you want to keep this baby, then we're going to send you to a group home. That right there killed me. But I had to understand, because they didn't know, you know, what happened. So I had just went with their decision. Just like, okay. I get there to the place. Mom take me. And, you know, she couldn't go back there with me. It was another waiting room behind there. You know, she was in the real waiting room, and then I was in the waiting room in the back. And I'm 13. I'm in there with 30-year-olds. And these ladies, they was sitting there, and they was just asking me, like, how old are you? Are you okay? Why are you here? And, you know, I'm just in shock. I don't even know what to say to you. Like, I'm 13. And it was like, baby, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right. And I was like, I'm not gonna be okay. All I know is I woke up in the recovery room crying because I was in so much pain. I had missed like 4 days from school.
So when you come home after having this abortion, did you tell anybody? Did you? You didn't tell your mom. You didn't tell anybody.
My initial thing was that I'll take it to the grave as long as you don't touch my sisters. Then I get a call in 2016 from Laileona, and she's telling me that the same thing happened to her. Huh. And I felt stupid, because I could have avoided them going through anything.
You can't put that on you.
It's
you can't.
on me, though.
It's not.
It's my fault.
I know you want to say that. It's not your fault.
It's my fault. It was summertime still. I called my teacher because I had a close relationship with my female teacher from 8th grade, because she just always knew that there was something wrong in my life, like at home. Yeah. So she always tried to make sure that she was there for me. And I had her number. And I called her, and I told her everything.
And so she obviously tells law enforcement?
Yes, and then everything blew up.
And your father was arrested?
He was arrested in 2017.
And what?
I never really had a good childhood in general.
You didn't have a good childhood?
Correct. Okay. When I was 11 years old, that's when it started happening to me. I only really visited occasionally. My dad really never really claimed me as a kid. Never understood that because I look exactly like him. He used to call me all kinds of names. He was already physically abusive. But I remember the first day that it happened to me. He came into the bedroom. He was playing like real nice and like real innocent. And I knew that something was a little bit off with that. He gets on to the bed, and he just said, He said, just know, no matter what, I love you. And this is what dads are supposed to do. And when he had said that, I was so lost. I was so confused. I'm like, what are you about to do? He grabs my head so aggressively and just starts kissing me, like all in my mouth. He was like, you need to be taught these things. Same thing that he said to my sister. I told him, like, no, like, Dad, I don't want to do this. Stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is not what Dad's supposed to be doing. He said, what did you just say to me? And he just started smacking me, like, real aggressive.
Did you know their father?
Yes. I lost my mom when I was 15, and I met their father's brother. And so when I got pregnant, I moved into the home. His dad moved me in, and so I grew up with their father. He was my brother.
Do you remember when the abuse came out with Laileona?
Yes. It was my daughter's prom. Lele had called while she was in the car on the way to prom. And I remember when we got to the prom, my daughter had tears in her eyes. I'm like, what's wrong? And she was like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And then the next day, my daughter came in with the phone and she said, Lele's on the phone. She has something to tell us. And she said, was he drunk? Was he high? And I just lost it. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean, was he drunk or was he high? It doesn't matter if he was drunk or high. He touched this baby.
Sometimes, even if I'm not asleep, when I'm awake, I see like things happening, like people. So it's like, I think of somebody as a ghost, like something scary to me for some reason. This person that I thought was family, he assaulted me too. When I was 6 years old, he said that if I did not pull my pants down, that he was gonna do something to me. I didn't want nothing happening to me, so I went to the bathroom and locked it, and he opened it anyway and pulled his pants down. 3 kids in a family, he did it to. Who knows how many people he could have did this to.
Renata, you came here and you took a lie detector test because as screwed up as the story is, people thought that, oh, you're coaching the girls, you're making the stories up. So you wanted to take a lie detector test, we gave you one, and we asked you, did you coach Amaya to say that her uncle molested her? You answered no. Did you fabricate the story that Amaya's uncle molested her? You answered no. The results came back the same, and it came back that, Renata, you told the truth. Jade, you came here, and you took a lie detector test, and we asked you, between the ages of 12 and 13, did your father ever sexually assault you? You answered yes. Did you ever perform oral sex on your father against your will? You answered yes. Were you lying about being pregnant by your father during the summer of 2013? You answered no. Results came back all the same, and it came back that Jade told the truth. In my life, this story, you know, it's horrifying, and it's hard to listen to, but I commend you all for surviving it, getting through it, speaking out, and putting this monster in behind bars.
He didn't stop us from being successful. All of us have graduated high school. I graduated high school a year early with a year of college already done. Accepted to 13 colleges, full scholarships, and now I'm majoring in psychology. I want to help. It has been a rough road, it has been tough, but we are still standing strong as us 4 women. And we came out and we got justice. That's all that matters.
I called you, Steve, for help because I watch your show all the time.
somebody's gonna watch this and say, you know what, she was brave enough to do that, I can do that too. Can you relate to this story? Go to www.stevewilkos.com to get my help